A very good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines of this hour. The Rajya Sabha is adjourned till 2 p.m. after Congress protests against former Minister Y.S. Chaudhary's statement. Lok Sabha passes the Payment of Gratuity Act amid disruptions. Parliamentary Standing Committee on Agriculture expresses concern over loss of agricultural output, says produce worth 92,000 crores lost due to lack of cold storage facility in the country, suggests additional funds to the food processing sector. Credit rating agency Fitch projects India's growth at 7.3% next fiscal and 7.5% in 2019-20. Says money supply has recovered to pre-demonetization level and is now increasing steadily. Judgment in the fourth fodder scam case involving former Bihar Chief Minister Lalu Prasad to be delivered today. Case relates to fraudulent withdrawals of 3.13 crore rupees from the Dunka treasury in 1995-96. And India advances to the final of the Nidahas T20 Tri-Series, beats Bangladesh by 17 runs in the last league stage match in Colombo. Top story, the first half of Rajya Sabha session was washed out for the 9th straight day today. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu adjourned the House till 2 p.m. after only 11 minutes of proceedings. After members laid papers on the table mentioned against their names, Congress members began their protests over former Minister Y.S. Chaudhary's statement on division on Andhra Pradesh. Chairman urged the members to allow the House to function but had to adjourn the proceedings as protests continued. The finance bill that was passed by Lok Sabha yesterday was transmitted to the Rajya Sabha yesterday itself. The House has 14 days to return the bill. Rajya Sabha cannot vote on or hold back such legislation for more than 14 days. And if it fails to do so by the 20th of March, the union budget will be deemed to be passed.
No, you please go to your place. If you don't go to your place, then I have to adjourn the House. Please bring the House to meet at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Kriti Mishra has been tracking developments in Rajya Sabha, joining us now from Parliament House. Kriti, another day of disruptions again. Post 2 p.m., do we see any kind of work being taking place?
Well, that's right, Tracy. Disruptions continued on 9th day in a row in the Rajya Sabha. So, of course, today, Chairman had allowed former Minister Y.S. Chaudhary to make statement in the House under Rule 241 for reasons for quitting the Union Cabinet. Now, this rule implies, Tracy, that the member has to read out from the statement, from the text that he has submitted to the chairman beforehand. But as Y.S. Chaudhary deviated from that text and he blamed the Congress for the problems that have arisen in Andhra Pradesh after the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the Congress members started protesting. As the protest continued, the chairman adjourned the House till 2 p.m. Now, today, of course, short duration discussion on reported scams in some public sector banks and failure of the banking regulator to check them, that is listed. And also a discussion on union budget is slated to be taken up. So, of course, MOS Parliamentary Affairs Vijay Goyal has requested and has urged all the members to participate in the discussion of union budget at least. So, let's see how things pan out in the post-lunch session. Over
Unfortunately,
to you,
the disruptions, of course, have taken on a larger role here. Unfortunately, is there any kind of effort again on the part of the government to try and perhaps reach out to the opposition members and try and work something out, considering that there are just about 13 to 14 days of business just left?
Well, Tracy, MOS Parliamentary Affairs as well as Parliamentary Affairs Anand Kumar, they've been requesting and urging the members to participate in the proceedings of the House and not to stall the proceedings of the House because there's heavy legislative agenda for the government. In fact, today also MOS Parliamentary Affairs said that the rules that have to be decided, that is the prerogative of the chairman. In fact, he also said that BJP was also in the opposition. And when the rules were decided, those rules for the discussion were decided by the chairman. And that tradition has to continue. So certainly the government has urged the members to participate in the discussion because of the legislative agenda and also requested them to participate because a lot of public money is spent during the days that Parliament is in session. So let's see if this stalemate prevails or peace prevails in the House. That has to be seen. Tracy?
All right. Stay with us, Kriti. Let's also tell our viewers that earlier the House paid tribute to former member Hamida Habibullah, who passed away on the 13th of March. Hamida Habibullah represented the Congress in the upper house from 1976 to 82. She was elected as MLA from UP's Barabanki in 1969 and held various portfolios, including social and Harijan welfare and tourism in the UP government. She was also associated with NGO group Seva, which promoted self-employment of women and also promoted the very famous Lucknowi chicken curry work.
She worked tirelessly for the welfare of women and children, women's education and self-employment. She also served as the Vice President of the Child Welfare Council of Uttar Pradesh. Srimati Hamidaji started her legislative career as a member of the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly from 1969 to 1974. She also served as a minister in the government of Uttar Pradesh from 1971 to June 1973. Srimati Hamidaji Habibullah represented the state of Uttar Pradesh in this house from April 1976 to April 1982. In the passing away of Srimati Hamidaji Habibullah, the country has lost a distinguished parliamentarian, an able administrator, and a dedicated social worker.
The lower house was also adjourned for the day amid repeated disruptions. Though 2 bills were passed, it was the 9th consecutive day that the proceedings of Lok Sabha were paralysed as several parties, including TDP, continued their noisy protests over various issues, including the PNB scam and a special status for Andhra Pradesh. As soon as the session began, MPs could be heard protesting in the background, even as Speaker Sumitra Mahajan tried to conduct the session. As a result, Lok Sabha was adjourned till 12 noon amid noisy protests by various parties on issues including the PNB scam. Even after the House resumed at noon, opposition MPs continued to storm the well of the House. Amid the ruckus that continued for about half an hour, the Lok Sabha passed the Payment of Gratuity Amendment Bill and the Specific Relief Amendment Bill. As the protests continued, the Speaker was forced to adjourn the House for the day. Earlier, amid slogan shouting, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar urged protesting members to allow the House proceedings to continue. He also said that the government was ready to discuss all issues in the House.
कृपया जाए और हाउस चलने दीजिए। ये महापंचायत है। पहले दिन से हम निवेदन कर रहे हैं, बैंकिंग अव्यवस्थाओं को लेकर के सभी विषयों के बारे में, वो स्पेशल स्टेटस हो, स्पेशल पैकेज हो, कावेरी का इश्यू हो, हर इश्यू के बारे में चर्चा करने के लिए सरकार तैयार है।
Ravindra Singh Sharan joining us now for more updates on what took place in Lok Sabha today from Parliament House. Ravindra, despite those disruptions, we are seeing some sort of work, of course, being conducted in the case of passing of certain bills. Yesterday, we saw, of course, the budget and the appropriation bill being passed, and now we are, of course, seeing the we are seeing the gratuity and the specific relief bills also being passed. Give us a sense of what happened. How did that happen?
Yeah, Tracy, as soon as the House started in the morning today at 11 o'clock, the opposition parties and some NDA members also, they trooped into the well and start raising the slogans. They have been demanding for the 9th consecutive day. The House has seen almost the similar order every day. Today also, the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Anant Kumar, has requested an appeal to all the members who have been protesting inside the House to go back to their seats and should take part in the discussion. And he also appealed that the government is ready for every kind of discussion and they are ready to take every matter whichever has been raised by the members on different days. And but despite of that, no member has conceded to the demands, appeal of the minister. And when the first question was asked, the Minister of Urban Housing, Ram Kripal Yadav, he was responding to a query of a member. Then his voice was drowned by the agitating members, and he could not respond to the question with the first question. And then the House was adjourned till 12 o'clock. As soon as the House recommenced at 12 o'clock, and the Speaker Lok Sabha, she said that these are the 2 important bills are slated today, and they should be taken into consideration for passing. But the members, they kept raising the issues, the different issues, and they have created a lot of noise today also. But during at 12 o'clock, the bills which were slated today, one by one, both the bills has been taken, and it was in the Panadonium and the DIN. Both the bills has passed. They are two important bills, Tracy. The first bill is the maturity bill, which is also important for the females. Also, the 12 weeks pregnancy leave has been extended to 26 months, 26 weeks by this bill. And the other one is the Specific Relief Act, which is for the commercial and business establishment related issues and which are going to the court. This is for the Modi government's ease of doing business. This is one of the most important bill which has been passed today. Also, the minister who has just resigned from the cabinet, Ashok Gajpati Raju, the TDP leader, he has also given a chance to speak about why he has tendered his resignation from the House, and he also said that because of some various issues he raised, that these are the main important issues. The special status was one of the issues which was, and also he said how the Congress party and the then UPA, they have divided the House, that they divided the Andhra Pradesh in such an unscientific manner that today the people of Andhra Pradesh, they have been facing the problem all because of that. These are some of the issues which has been raised in the House today, and later as no substantial business, as I have been saying, for the ninth consecutive day, the House failed to transact. Today also no specific business was transacted, and the House was forced to adjourn after passing off these two bills without any discussion. Yesterday also we have seen that the budget, all the budget related bills, they were put in the House, and they were forced, the House was forced to pass them without any discussion. This is quite unfortunate. The people have been saying, and the opposition part, the government and the treasury benches, they have been raising this issue that these are important bills. They should be passed with the discussion, and the people of the country, their future is at stake, and the opposition members, they should now, because they have been raising these issues for the last 9th day, they should be allowed to speak in the House.
Because there are people watching, the country is of course watching them, but unfortunately it's having to be passed in this manner, and that's unfortunate. Let's hope tomorrow is a different day. At the moment, of course, Lok Sabha is adjourned for the day, and it will resume tomorrow at 11. Thank you so much, Ravindra, for joining us with those details. Well, one department, of course, the department that has been doing well, at least silently, and being referred to as a mini parliament, are, of course, the standing committees. And the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Agriculture has expressed its concern of the loss of agricultural produce worth 92,000 crore rupees due to lack of cold storage facilities in the country. To plug this huge loss to the exchequer, the Standing Committee has suggested immediate appropriation of additional funds to the food processing sector.
While the government is working hard to bring a large section of population above the poverty line and provide food security, figures given by the department-related Standing Committee on Agriculture with regard to proportions of wastage in agricultural produce has raised an alarm. In its latest report, the Standing Committee on Agriculture puts a figure of loss of agricultural produce close to 92,000 crore rupees. And the key constituents that had suffered badly are fruits, vegetables and food grains. The committee also stated that for the financial year 2018-19, a modest increase of 715 crore rupees has been made with regard to establishment of small-sized cold storage facilities.
ऐसी चीज़ें जो जल्दी दूध है, जल्दी नुकसान होने जाने वाली चीज़ें हैं, जो खेती के क्षेत्र में उत्पादन होती हैं, उसके खपत की जल्दी संभावना हम तलाश लेंगे तो बहुत सी चीज़ों का समाधान हो जाएगा। उसके लिए सुरक्षित रखने के लिए कोल्ड चेन की बहुत ही ज़रूरत है। ये जो 92,000 करोड़ की बात, नुकसान होने की बात कही गई है, बिल्कुल सही है।
The Agriculture Committee, headed by Hukumdeo Narayan Singh, has also asked the centre to focus efforts in the northeastern states for setting up small cold storage chains. However, shortcoming in packaging and grading still continues. To plug this gap, the Standing Committee has recommended that food processing units should source their raw material directly from the producers and farmers.
पिछले वर्ष में लगभग 1 लाख करोड़ का जो है कृषि उत्पाद बेकार गया है। तो आज कोल्ड स्टोरेज नहीं है, हमारे पास जो है भंडारण के लिए जो है वेयर हाउसेज नहीं है। हम कृषि उत्पाद, किसानों का कृषि उत्पाद खरीद करके उनका वैल्यू एडिशन करके जहां हम किसान को लाभ दिला पाएं।
Pricing of commodities is another issue that Standing Committee has addressed. The committee said food grains, fruits and vegetable and milk produce sector need additional push for setting up new units of food processing while keeping an eye to increase per capita income of farmers. The report mentioned that India is the #1 producer of milk products, pulses, oilseeds, ginger, bananas and mango. And with regard to the production of rice, wheat and vegetables, India is the second largest producer. Under the Prime Minister's Make in India mission, this sector has received the top priority in budgetary allocation. Under this, additional fund of 6,000 crore rupees has been allocated. Among its major recommendations, the Standing Committee on Agriculture stated focus on mega food parks, adequate allocation of funds for the northeastern states. Under Make in India program, food processing sector gets priority, new chain of small-sized cold storages. During its deliberations, the Standing Committee had summoned key officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and had raised issues with regard to schemes aimed to sensitize farmers for increasing farm productivity. With Mohammad Fateh Tipu, Vineet Dikshit for Rajya Sabha TV.
The Cabinet has approved continuation of urea subsidy till 2020 at an estimated cost of 1.64 lakh crore rupees. In a statement, the government said that the continuation of the urea subsidy scheme will ensure that adequate quantity of the fertilizer is made available to farmers at statutory controlled prices. Urea subsidy is projected to be 45,000 crore rupees for the 2018-19 fiscal, as against 42,748 crore rupees for this year. The government also approved implementation of direct benefit transfer for disbursement of fertilizer subsidy in order to reduce diversion and plug the leakages. The decision was taken by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs on Wednesday, and the meeting was chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In more national news, RBI Governor Urjit Patel has sought more powers to deal with frauds at public sector banks, saying that the legal powers to supervise and manage public sector banks are inadequate. Speaking almost a month after the Punjab National Bank frauds case surfaced, Patel said that the Reserve Bank of India has very limited authority and cannot remove the directors and management of the public sector banks. He added that the RBI also has no authority to enforce mergers in PSBs or trigger liquidation of a state-owned bank. Delivering a lecture at the Gujarat National Law University in Gandhinagar, Patel urged the government to make banking regulatory powers neutral to bank ownership and levelling the field between public sector and private sector banks. Expressing deep anguish over a spate of banking frauds, Patel said that the RBI feels the anger, hurt and pain at the banking sector frauds and said that RBI is doing all it can to break the unholy nexus. Meanwhile, in the Punjab National Bank fraud case, the CBI has registered a fresh case related to issuance of 9 crore rupees of letters of undertaking by former Deputy Manager Gokulnath Shetty. Shetty and single window operator at the bank's Brady House branch, Manoj Kharat, who are already facing CBI probe in the Modi Choksi case, have been booked by the agency in the fresh FIR registered today. On Wednesday, the Enforcement Directorate moved the Interpol for issuance of a red corner notice against Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi in the money laundering case. A special court in Mumbai had issued non-bailable warrants earlier this month on the request of the Enforcement Directorate. A day after the World Bank projected India's robust GDP growth at 7.3% for the next fiscal year, credit rating agency Fitch has also predicted India's growth on the same lines. In its Global Economic Outlook report released today, Fitch forecasts Indian economy to clock at a growth rate of 7.3% in 2018-19 and further to 7.5% in 2019-20. According to Fitch, the Indian economy is showing signs of recovery after recovering from the note ban and disruptions related to rollout of the goods and services tax. Fitch said that the budget for 2018-19 contains measures such as a minimum price support and free health insurance that will benefit low-income earners and support rural demand. On to politics now, and in a big power push, rebel AIDMK leader TTV Dinakaran floated his new party today, naming it after the late J. Jayalalitha. Late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha's nephew launched his party, Amma Makkal Munetra Karagam, displaying the party flag that bore the image of former Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. In his brief address, Dinakaran recalled the difficulties faced by party workers in carrying forward their organizational work without a name. Earlier, Dinakaran had won the RK Nagar Assembly by-polls held in December last year as an independent candidate on the pressure cooker symbol. A special CBI court will deliver the judgment in the fourth fodder scam case involving former Bihar Chief Minister Lalu Prasad in Ranchi today. The hearing in the case relating to fraudulent withdrawals of 3.13 crore rupees from December 1995 to January 1996 from the Dunka treasury was completed on the 5th of March. Besides Lalu Prasad, another former Chief Minister, Jagannath Mishra, and 30 others are also accused in the case. Lalu Prasad is already lodged in Birsa Munda jail in Ranchi since December last year in connection with the second case of fodder scam related to the illegal withdrawal of 89.27 lakh rupees. He was convicted in the third case on the 24th of January related to fraudulent withdrawals from the Chaibasa treasury and awarded a 5-year jail term. The Delhi High Court has extended the interim protection to Karti Chidambaram from the ED's arrest in the INX Media money laundering case. The court has granted protection till the 22nd of March. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court will hear today the ED's plea challenging the Delhi High Court order granting interim protection to Karti Chidambaram. On the 9th of March, the Delhi High Court gave Karti Chidambaram a breather in the money laundering case and restrained the ED from arresting him till the 20th of March. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has called the results of the Gorakhpur and Phulpur Lok Sabha by-election results a lesson for the BJP. Yogi Adityanath said that overconfidence and the inability to understand the Samajwadi Party and BSP partnership were the prime reasons for the BJP's defeat. Yogi Adityanath has represented Gorakhpur constituency in the Lok Sabha 5 times. Meanwhile, Samajwadi Party thanked the BSP for its support in the by-polls. After the results, SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav met BSP Chief Mayawati at her residence in Lucknow. The two former Chief Ministers formed an alliance for the UP by-polls. Both SP candidates in Gorakhpur and Phulpur won the Lok Sabha by-election. RJD too had a cause to celebrate with their victory in the Araria by-polls in Bihar.
इस बात की हम अवश्य समीक्षा करेंगे जिससे 2019 में सपा बसपा का जो यह राजनीतिक सौदेबाजी एक बार पुनः प्रदेश और देश के विकास को बाधित करने की दिशा से बना है, इसके बारे में हम लोग अपनी पूरी रणनीति तैयार करेंगे।
देखिए, यह मैं मानता हूं, इतना मैं नहीं मान रहा था कि समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रत्याशी के पक्ष में बसपा जो उसका वोट है उसे इतना ट्रांसफ़र कराने में कामयाब होगी। जब चुनाव के लिए मतदान होना था उस समय तक दोनों एक साथ आ गए। कांग्रेस भी आंतरिक समर्थन किया।
बहुजन समाज पार्टी की नेता सुश्री मायावती जी का भी मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दूंगा। तमाम दलों ने मिलकर के समय समय पर हमें सहयोग दिया और जनता में एक संदेश दिया कि समाजवादी पार्टी के जो दोनों प्रत्याशी हैं उनका सहयोग और मदद मिले। उसी का परिणाम है ये ऐतिहासिक जीत हुई है। ये एक संदेश है क्योंकि गिनती सबकी कर रहे हैं। ये कहीं न कहीं सोशल जस्टिस की भी जीत है।
जो चुनाव 2019 में होगी तो जनता ये मानती है कि नेशनल लेवल पे भी महागठबंधन हो और यूपी की जनता ये भी चाहती है कि मायावती जी और अखिलेश जी मिलकर के चुनाव लड़ने का काम करें। उसमें कांग्रेस को भी साथ आना चाहिए।
ये बिहार में नीतीश कुमार जी के लिए वार्निंग है। उनका अपना सीट नहीं बचा पाए, वहाँ पर हम लोग काफी मार्जिन से जीते। और जहाँ तक अररिया का सवाल है, समझना चाहिए कि अररिया के लोगों का क्या मन था, इसलिए भाजपा को भी सोचना चाहिए।
In other news, President Nath Kovind, who is on a 2-day visit to Madagascar, interacted with members of the India-Madagascar Business Forum on Thursday. The president urged members to increase trade and business opportunities between both the countries. Earlier on Wednesday, India and Madagascar signed an umbrella agreement in the field of defense. This was announced by President Kovind after delegation-level talks with his Madagascar counterpart. Under the agreement, both the countries will explore various ways of cooperation in the field of defense. An amended air service agreement was also signed to support efforts towards improving connectivity between the two countries. Both the countries will have a core sharing agreement with Air Seychelles through Air India and Air Madagascar. India also offered an $80.7 million line of credit for Madagascar's agriculture development and farm mechanization. Both the countries also agreed that terrorism poses a grave threat to humanity and the two countries should work together to develop a strong global response to this menace. Earlier, the Madagascar president decorated President Kovind with the second highest civilian honor, Grand Cross. President Kovind also inaugurated the Center for Geoinformatics Applications in Rural Development in the country, which has been set up by Indian assistance. President Kovind also addressed the Indian community in Madagascar, where he said that India was proud of its diaspora and their achievements.
We both expressed deep commitment to impart new vigor and energy to India-Madagascar relations. I am hopeful that my visit will mark a new chapter in our warm and friendly ties with the country. As we embark on a new journey in Madagascar, you as members of the Indian community have an important role to play in enhancing and building our ties with the Malagasy people. Both India and Madagascar have gone through similar political and socio-economic trajectories, and we have much to share and learn from each other.
And finally, in some sports news, India has advanced to the final of the Nidahas T20 Tri-Series after beating Bangladesh by 17 runs in the last league stage match on Wednesday. India scored 176 runs for 3 wickets in their 20 overs after Bangladesh won the toss and elected to field. Skipper Rohit Sharma was awarded the man of the match for his smashing innings of 89 runs from 61 balls. Suresh Raina scored 47 while Shikhar Dhawan hit 35. In response, Bangladesh made 159 runs for 6 wickets in their 20 overs. Mushfiqur Rahim made 72 from 55 balls. Bangladesh will now face Sri Lanka in the 6th league match of the series on Friday. And that's it on the Midday News. Have a good day.